October 24th, 4:30. Brookline at Norwood. 70 degrees today. Overcast. Strong wind from our left to our right. Brookline on the kickoff. Matt's over the ball. Matt sends it to Mateo, who sends it to Mekhi on this side. The wind is blowing from our left to right. So it's going to be a throw-in for Norwood.
This way, it's like...
Number 8 on the throw for Norwood. Okay, we're 30 seconds into the first half. It's starting to rain now. Light rain coming down. He throws it, and that's Jacob that headed it back in. Jacob, it's in the corner, and they clear it out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for Brookline, for Norwood. 50 seconds into the first half, there's no score. And he's going to throw it out of bounds on the throw. Brookline gets the throw at the spot where he took the throw. The ball got blown out of bounds. You can see the flag blowing in the back. Ethan Schaefer sends it back to Sam. Sam back to Nate at midfield. Nate to Mac on the left. Mac in front of the Brookline bench. It's starting to pour. That's Brendan on the ball. And it's shot into the box. It's cleared away by the Norwood player. Jacob on the ball. Jacob to Mekhi. It's back to midfield. That's Sam on the ball. Sam sends it ahead. It gets to Ben Kaplan in front of the Brookline bench. Ben turns. He's going up the side. He finds Jacob on the right. Jacob with Mekhi in front of him. 2 minutes into the first half. Jacob back to Brendan. Brendan back to Ethan. Ethan on the right side. Ethan crosses in front, gets cleared away by number 14 out of bounds. It's going to be a corner for Brookline. It's a corner for Brookline. It's going to be Mateo on the corner. You can borrow an umbrella if you want. There's 2 back there. Yeah. Mateo crosses with his left foot to the back post. It's going to hook out of bounds. It's going to be a throw. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood. 2:30 into the first half. There's no score. It was a tropical day. It's really windy here. Windy and cold on the hill. It's 70 and humid in Brookline today. We're 3 minutes in, goalie boots it out. Doesn't get very far. That's Mateo that brought it down with his head. Ben Kaplan in front of the Brookline bench. He sends it to Brendan. Brendan to his right. Sends it across to Ethan. Ethan sends it to Mekhi. Mekhi to the corner. Mekhi hits it off the 8. He crosses in front. It gets cleared. Ethan steps in. Comes back to Mateo. Mateo to his right. 17 cuts it off for Norwood. And he clears it, but he doesn't clear it that far. Ethan has it. Ethan at the 25. Ethan hits the Norwood player. Ethan sends it back to Sam. Sam sends it to Nate. He's at the 30-yard line. Nate has the ball. Nate back to Sam. Brookline's controlled it for the first 4 minutes of the game. We're 4 minutes in. There's no score. Sam to Nate. Nate to the left to Mac. He's at the 40. He's at the 35 in front of the Brookline bench. Mateo gets it. Back to Nate. Nate sends it back to Sam. Sam to his right to Ethan. Keeps it in bounds right at midfield. Ethan sends it back to Sam. Sam to Nate. It's like a passing cloud. It stopped raining now. Mateo has it. He goes out to the left to Mac in front of the Brookline bench. And it gets tipped out of bounds. Throw in for Brookline. It's at the 20-yard line. That was Ben Kaplan throws it into Mac. Jacob has it at the 35 to Mateo. Mateo to his left to Ben Kaplan. Ben in the box. It gets no one there for Brookline. Brendan cuts it off, and he cuts it into the Brookline bench. Throw in for Norwood. We're about 5 minutes in. There's no score. Throw in for Norwood right in front of the Brookline bench. It slips off his hand, and it goes out of bounds. It never got in, it looked like. It's going to be thrown for Brookline. Mac's going to take it right inside of midfield. Mac down the left side. He's trying to find Matt. 15 tries to clear it for Norwood. He clears it behind the Brookline bench. Throw in for Brookline. It's going to be Mac. No, it's going to be Ben Kaplan. Ben Kaplan to Mateo. Mateo to Ben Kaplan. Ben to his right. He's on the ground. Tried to find Matt. Hit off his foot out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood. We are just under 6 minutes in. There's no score. Goalie's gonna take the goal kick. 6 minutes in. Goalie boots it. He gets it over the 40. Hits Ben Kaplan in the head. That's Jacob. Back to Ben. Ben Kaplan tried to find Mateo. That's Jacob with the ball. Sends to Ethan on the right. Ethan pushes it out to Mekhi on the right wing. Mekhi cuts it back. Sends it back to Ethan, who saves it right on the end line, right on the sideline. Mateo in front. And Norwood comes out. That's Brendan with the ball. Brendan at the 40. Brendan to Mac. He's at the 30. That's Mac up the left side. Gets cut away 3. Hits it out of bounds. It's going to be a throw for Brookline, right near midfield. Nate's going to take the throw. He sends it back to Sam. Sam finds Mac. He sends it to Nate. Norwood is not pressing the ball. He sends it to Mac. They're playing tight. Mac to the left in front of the Brookline bench. That's Ben Kaplan with it. Brendan has it. Brendan turns to his right. Sends it back to Jacob. Jacob to the left. Jacob back to Mac. Mac to the left. Mac down the left side. And it's going to be a throw-in for Norwood. 7:40 into the first half. There's no score. Throw-in for Norwood. And he spins it. It's off Ben Kaplan's head out of bounds. Throw in down the right side. Off the Norwood player, number 12. It's off Nate's head to Mac. Mac on his left foot sends it ahead into the Brookline bench. It's going to be a throw-in for Norwood, right about the 40-yard line. Looks like it's lightened up a little bit here. The wind has died down. They throw down the right side, gets cut up by Ben Kaplan, and it goes back to the left. Brendan's under it. Brendan on his foot. Brendan being held by 32, sends it to Ethan. It's out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for Norwood, right inside midfield. Number 7 looks like he's going to take it for Norwood. It's just a midfield. Sky is cleared up. It's less windy now as well. Hits off 17 and hit Jacob, went out of bounds. Throwing again for Norwood, 7. He's at the 40, he's at the 35, he's going to throw it in. Goes down the left side. They're calling a foul, so it's going to be a free kick. It's right at the 20-yard line. It's at the 20-yard line. Zach is on the near post, giving directions. Move the wall. Move the wall. And it goes to the back post. Zach catches it. Zach. We're 10 minutes in. There's no score. He boots it over midfield. Number 7 off his head into the Brookline bench. 10 minutes in. There's no score. That's Ben Kaplan. Sends it back to Mac. Mac on the ground to Nate. Nate on the defensive side sends it to Ethan. That's Brendan has it. Brendan to his right. He tried to find Mekhi. 7 off his left foot to Ethan. Ethan gets it to his right. Ethan has 2 players on him. He dances around. Ethan back to Mateo off his foot. 17 for Norwood. Nate cuts it off. 17 cuts it back. Nate has it. Nate over midfield. Gets cut away. Oh, there's a foul. It's a free kick coming up. It's right at the 48-yard line. Just inside of midfield. Nate sends it to Mateo. Mateo to the left side. Mateo sends the wing. That's Matt with the ball. Matt on the ground. That's Brendan. Brendan sends it back to Matt. Matt sends it to Jacob. Jacob sends it to the wing to Ethan. Ethan down the right side. He crosses in front. And it's a goal. It's Mekhi. Mekhi on the goal. 1-0 Brookline. 28:52 left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. Ethan and Mekhi in front. 1-0 Brookline. 28:52 mark. Okay, they kick off. 3 sends it back to 14. 14 puts it ahead. Zach's waiting for it. 3's coming in. Zach at the edge of the box gets to it. Clearing up. 99. Zach punts it over midfield. It bounces. That's Ben Kaplan on the ball. Ben Kaplan on his head. 9 tries to get under him, and it goes out of bounds. They're saying it's a goal kick. Goal kick for Norwood. It's Mekhi's 3rd goal of the year. Goalie. 12 minutes in, 1-0 Brookline. Goalie to his left, it's fading. It bounces, it's spinning backwards. You see the wind. And there's a foul called. Free kick for Brookline. Right at the 25-yard line. Ben Kaplan's over the ball. Zoom in a little closer here. He gives it, that's Mateo crosses in front. Ethan, it goes past the far post and out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood. We are 12 and a half minutes into the first half. 1-0 Brookline. Goalie sets the ball down. You can see the wind. You can see the flag blowing in the back. It's a really stiff breeze into his face. The ball is spinning backwards. Mekhi tried to get to it. Mekhi gets a foul. He was reaching over. 7 for Norwood's going to take it at the 35-yard line. You can see the ball, you can see the wind. We're just under 13-15 into the first half. Ball's still rolling, but he kicks it anyway. It's Matt. 9 has it, crosses midfield. That's Mac ahead to 9 for Norwood. 9 tries to clear it. 3 is clearly offside. So you're right at the 30-yard line, 25. That's Nate on the free kick with his left foot. He sends it to Sam. Sam sends it back to Nate. Nate crosses the 35. He finds Brendan over midfield. Brendan turns to his left, sends to Mac. Mac tries to chip it. Brendan gets it at midfield. Brendan steps over it. Brendan to Mac. Mac down the left in front of the Brookline bench. Mac gets cut off. That's Jacob that had it. Gets cut off by 17. 32 has it for Norwood. Mekhi sends it back to Ethan. Ethan, he's got 5 yards in front of him. He tries to send Mateo. He gets pushed. No call. Brendan off his chest. Brendan steps over it. Brendan back to Nate. Nate to Ethan to the right at midfield. Ethan sends a middle to Brendan. He gets cut off by 18. 18 with his left foot sends it to 3. 3 at the 40. Ethan comes back. And they call Ethan on the foul. It's at the 45. We are 15 minutes in. He's setting up in midfield. We're just about 15 minutes into the first half. 1-0 Brookline. 14 on the free kick. He boots it. It's spinning backwards. He's going to their right side. They head it out of bounds. That was number 17. Throw in for Mac. He's looking for a ball. So once again, the wind is blowing pretty strong from our left to right. So Brookline has the advantage in the first half. It's going to be another throw in for Brookline right at the 40-yard line. Mateo sends it to the right to Ethan. Norwood's playing pretty tight in their box. Ethan to Jacob. Jacob to the right. Jacob back to the left to Ethan. Ethan sends it back to Sam. Sam to Brendan. Brendan's got 5 yards. Brendan to Mateo. Mateo to the left. He gets Mac in front of the Brookline bench. Mac at the 25. Mac crosses it in front to Matt. Matt on the ground. It goes out of bounds. Subs are coming in for Brookline. Mekhi is coming out. I think it's Avi coming in for him. Mac is coming out. And Jacob is coming out. So Avi, Jacques came in the game. Ball is blowing off the spot. And he kicks it. It's spinning back again. Matt got pushed in the back, no call. Avi to Ben. Ben Kaplan on the left. Ben with number 15 on him. He gets to the corner, and it goes out of bounds. It should be. They give it. Looks like it's a goal kick for Norwood. We are 17 minutes into the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. $15 is down for Norwood. Timeout is called by the ref. Trainer's coming out. We set the lineup for Brookline. That's their meeting here at midfield.
Hey, what up, Sammy?
Zach, Sam, Nate, Ethan. And I think that's... So see, Mac came out, so I don't know who's on the left defense. Mateo, Brendan, and Matt are in midfield. Avi, Jacques, and I think Ben Kaplan up top. So 15 is coming off the field. They're subbing for him.
Hey, what up, Bree?
Oh, it's Brad that's on the left side for Brookline. Okay, we resume. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood.
All right, Brookline, let's go.
22:36 left in the first half. 1-0 Brookline. Okay, everyone's on their offensive right side of the field. No one's on the left. And with the wind, he's probably not going to get over midfield. He kicks it low this time. Brendan bounces over his foot. It's to the left side. Brendan to Ethan. Ethan to Avi. Avi under his leg. They chip it out. It's going to bounce. Nate on his head. Nate to midfield. Nate on the ground to Matt. Matt to the left. Matt spins. He gets it back to Brad. Brad's on the left side right now. Sam gets the ball. Sam to Nate. Nate sends the left side. He finds Jock. Jock in front of the Brookline bench. Jock on the ground. Ooh, he tried to go across to Ethan, but the wind took it out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood. Let's see, 18:30 into the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. The wind has died down a little bit. See if the goalie can kick it out. He kicks it low on the ground. He gets to the 45. Hits off Nate's, hits Mateo's head. Mateo again off his leg. Mateo to Matt. Matt turns to his left. Sends it to Brad. Brad to his left. Brad blew away. Mateo has it. Mateo to the left side. On the ground to Ben. Ben Kaplan. Sends it back to Brad. Brad on the ground to the left to Matt. Matt turns to his right. Matt in front of the Brookline bench sends it back to Nate. Nate to Jacques. Jacques tried to get it to Brendan. 3 to his left. Gets cut off by Avi. 32 has it for Norwood. 32 on his left foot. He's going to spin back. Look. 3 pushed Ethan right here. It's a foul. Free kick. Ethan back to Sam. Sam back to Nate. We're approaching the midway point of the first half. 1-0 Brookline. Nate to the left. Hits the Norwood player number 9 in the head. It's back to the middle of the field. 32 is going to get it for Norwood. He puts it in the air. Mateo didn't get it. Nate ahead to Mateo. Mateo down the right side. Avi's chasing it. The wind is taking it out of bounds. It's going to be throwing for Norwood. Number 7 is going to take it. $19:45 left in the first half. 1-0 Brookline. He goes down the left side. Avi heads it out of bounds. Another throw in for Norwood. 7. He's at the 20-yard line. And he throws it down the side. It's spinning. 16. It never came in. It's going to be at the 25-yard line. Ethan sends it back to Sam. Sam on his right foot to Nate. Nate over midfield. He sends it to Brendan. Brendan to the side to Mateo off his left foot. Mateo comes away with it. Mateo gets cut off. That's number 9. Chips it down to number 3 in the middle of the field. 17 tries to chip it ahead. Hits Nate in the back of the head. Matt on the ball. Matt stutter steps. He sends it to Jacques. Jacques to Mateo. Mateo to Ben Kaplan in front of the Brookline bench. Ben Kaplan, he's got Brendan. He sends it to the other side, tried to hit Avi, didn't get there. Sam off his chest. It bounces over. He sends it to Nate. Nate to Brad. Brad on the left. Brad steps over it. Sends it back to Nate. Nate over midfield. Nate sends it to Brad on the left side, in front of the Brookline bench. Brad to Ben, got bumped, no call. Brad making a run, gets cut off. Brendan off his head. He sends it to Ben Kaplan, there's nobody there, and it goes out of bounds. We are 18 minutes left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. Sammy's warming up on the side. It gets booted in the air by Norwood. It bounces. Avi on his left foot sends Matt. Matt chips ahead to Mateo. Mateo back to his left on the ground to Ben Kaplan. Ben Kaplan crosses with his left foot. It's in front. Number 7 got a piece of the ball, went back to the goalie. Goalie bounces off his foot. 17:25 left in the first half. 1-0 Brookline. It bounces in midfield. Ethan, it bounces over him. 3 tries to turn. 3 gets cut off by Nate. Nate to the left. Nate Sends it back to Matt. Matt to the left. Matt over midfield. Matt gets bumped. No call. 16 has it. 16 down the right side. 3's running after it. Sam is shielding. Goalie comes out, and they call a foul on number 3. There's 16:45 left in the first half. 1-0 Brooklyn. Mateo has it. 3's on its back. Mateo sends it to the side to Brad. Brad crosses to the left to Sam, right behind the ref. Sam on the ground. He tried to hit Jock. Ben Kaplan on the left. He's got Brendan in front. Ben shoots, and it's deflected wide. It should be a corner. It's going to be a corner for Brookline. Ben on a nice right-footed shot. It looks like it's going to be Mateo on the corner. 16 minutes left in the first half. Mateo on the corner. Brendan is short. Brookline has 1, 2, 3. Brendan has 5 guys in the box. Mateo to the top of the box. It goes over Avi. And they're saying it's a throw-in for Norwood. It's deep in the Norwood end. Number 7 again is going to take the throw-in for Norwood. Seven moves the corner flag. You can see the wind with the flag. He throws it down his right side. Brendan off his foot. 9 clears it up the right side to Nate. Nate, it goes over him. 3's chasing it. Nate to Sam. Sam back to Nate. Nate at the 40. There's no pressure. Nate sends it back to Sam. Sam at the 40. Sends it back to Nate. There's no pressure. Nearest guy's 10 yards away. Brad up the left side. Brad in front of the Brookline bench. Brad cuts it back. Brad back to Nate. Nate crosses midfield. Nate to Brad. Brad down the left. That's Jock. And they call a foul on Jock. 14:30 left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. Free kick. They go down the right side. It hits Ethan. Ethan over midfield. Ethan back to Mateo. Mateo's got Matt to his left. Mateo shoots. Goes just wide. 2 subs are coming in. It's going to be Jake is coming in for Brendan. Sammy is coming in for Ben Kaplan. 13:50 left in the first half. 1-0 Brookline. Goalie boots it to the other side this time. Avi and 18. They call a foul on Avi. It's going to be a free kick for Norwood. 7's going to take the free kick. It's at the 30. He moved it up to the 35. That's fine. 13:20 left in the first half. 1-0 Brookline. 7 in the air. It's going to hit their player. It goes in. And Sam clears it toward the sideline. Goes out of bounds. It's going to be thrown for Norwood in front of their bench. Number 10 is going to take it. No, he's going to leave it. 10 is going to take it. The wind is still blowing from our left to right, so he's going to be thrown into the wind. And he got toward the box. 17 off his head, 16 off his head. He wanted to bike it, and it's going to roll. It's going to stay in bounds. Nate steps over it to Ethan. He puts it in front. 3. Matt hits it off the Norwood foot, goes out of bounds. Should be a throw-in for Brookline. Sub is coming in. Jacob came in he's coming in for Matt. This is 12:15 left in the first half. throwing for Ethan Schaefer. He throws it down the right side. He finds Sammy. Sammy off his foot. Sammy gets it back. Sammy to Mateo. Mateo got cut off by 17. He goes to the side. It's going to go out of bounds. It's a throw-in for Norwood. 11:50 left in the first half. 1-0 Brooklyn. It's senior day here at Norwood. 7 on the throw. Right at midfield. He throws it and it bounces. Avi and 17 hits it out of bounds. Should be that way. Are you kidding? Wow. The wind is blowing. Actually, it's toward us now. 7 on the throw. It's been a swirling wind. He throws it toward the box. The wind had died down. 9 cleared it. Mateo clears it back. 7 off his head. It's going to go. Ethan's going to shield. 17 bumps him. And it goes out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick for Brookline. Oh, it's going to be a throw-in. Sorry. Ethan down the side. Ethan bounces over Sammy's head. 8 clears it. Avi off his foot, and it's going to go out of bounds. It's right at midfield. 7 on the throw. 10:30 left in the first half. 1-0 Brookline. 7 throws it. Hits Avi in the head. Jake off his head. 8 hits it in the air. Mateo under it. Mateo off his head. It's going to go out of bounds. Once again, it's at midfield. 10:10 left in the first half. 1-0 Brooklyn. 7. He spins it backwards. Hits Avi in the leg. Goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line, roughly. 7 on the throw. I'm not sure what kind of throw he's going to get. The wind is blowing toward us. And he throws it low, hits Mateo in the chest. 14 off his leg, gets around Mateo. Avi to Jake to Mateo. Mateo to his left, he gets held. He gets spun around by 14. That could be a card. It's Nate on the free kick. He's at the 36. 9:20. Nate sends it to Brad on the left. Brad back to Nate. They're giving him 10 yards here. He sends it to Mateo over midfield. Mateo loses it to 17. 3 makes a run. 3 gets 3 to his left. Nate's on him. 3. He's got one other player behind him. It goes out of bounds. It's a throw-in for Norwood. It's a short corner. Number 7's going to take it. 8:45 left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. 7, deep in Brookline territory. He throws it toward the box. They're spinning back. Zach off his hands. Zach picks it up. He rolls it out to Brad on the left. Brad up the wing to Avi. Avi turns. He gets it past the player. 9's chasing him. Avi to the left. Avi cuts it back. 10 comes back, takes the ball away. 10 clears it as far as Ethan in midfield. 3's behind him. He sees him. He sends it back to Sam. Sam to Jacob. Jacob off his foot. Jacob to his left. He gets away. Jacob to the left in front of the Brookline bench. Jacob down the left side got cut off by 9. Jacob gets it back. No, it's Avi, sorry. He sends it to Jacob. Jacob to Jake. Jake shoots! And it goes just wide. He just missed the far post. 7:40 left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. Norwood's calling a timeout here. 7:34 left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. Swim on the bench. Okay, ref signaling the timeout is over. Okay, 7:34 left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood when we resume. But Dimitri is in the game. So we've got Sammy, Dimitri, Jacques up top. We've got Mateo, Jacob, Jake in midfield. And we've got Brad, Nate, Sam, and Ethan in the back. Ball gets caught in the wind. Dimitri's on it. Dimitri turns, finds Ethan. Ethan to the right. Ethan turns. Ethan. It goes out of bounds. He tried to get around the defender, went out of bounds. 7:10 left in the first half. It's 1-0 Brookline. 7 on the throw. He goes down the left. Hits Ethan in the head to Mateo. 32 cuts it away for Norwood. Puts it high in the air. 17 off his head. That's Jacob off his head. Ethan off his head. You gotta bring it down. 3 lets it bounce. Jake off his head. 32 off his foot. Ethan cuts it ahead. 14 cuts it off. That's Mateo to Jacques on the left. Jacques sends it up the left side. He tried to hit Sammy. It's going to go too far out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood. Sub is coming in. It's going to be Mekhi. Mekhi is going to come in. Sammy's going to go back to midfield. So Mekhi is on the left, it looks like. 6:13 left. Goalie boots it to his right. It's off Sammy's head to Jacques. Jacques gets it to the left corner. Jacques steps over it. Jacques sends it back to Sammy. Sammy crosses. It gets headed away by the Norwood player. That was a good cross. It's going to be a throw-in for Brookline. Ethan's going to take it. Ethan Schaefer. 5:45 left in the first half. Ethan toward the box. Jacques off his head. It bounces at the near post and the goalie picks it up. 5:30 left in the first half. 1-0 Brookline. Goalie's going to punt it out. Goalie punts it low. It bounces. 3 pushes it. Wow. 14 on the free kick. He moves it up to the 40. They're sending everyone here. They have 3, 5, 14 on the ground. Gets cleared away by Sammy, only to the left. 16 on his foot. It gets cleared away. Jacques clears it ahead. 7 off his head for Norwood. Brad misses the ball. Jacob on the ball. Jacob gets tripped. And there's a foul. He clipped his foot. That's a good call. It's at the 40. 4:30 left in the first half. Nate sends it back to Sam. He's got 10 yards of space. Sam to Jacob. Jacob to Ethan. Ethan brings it down. Ethan back to Sam. Sam, he's got Nate. He's got 15 yards of space in front of him. Nate to Brad on the left. Brad at the 40. Brad sends it on the ground to Sam. Sam tried to find Dimitri. Dimitri has it. Dimitri to his right. Gets cut away by 18. Sam on the ball. Sam to Jacob. Jacob lets it roll over the midfield, over the logo. He sends it to Brad. Brad to the left. Brad in front of the Brookline bench. Brad to Mekhi. Mekhi to Jake. Jake to Jacob. Jacob on the ground to Sam. He's at the 40. Sam to the back post. He gets pushed. Sammy got pushed. Jacques puts it over the top. Wow. Looks like 9 for Norwood pushed Sam off the spot. 3:20 left in the first half. It's a goal kick for Norwood. It's 1-0 Brookline. He boots it. Ethan Schaefer has it. Ethan to Mekhi. Mekhi back to Ethan. Ethan to the right. He cuts it back. He's got Sammy with him. He sends it back to Sam instead. Sam to Nate. Nate steps over it. Sends it to Brad on the left. Brad over midfield. Brad to Jacob. Jacob's going to let it. No, Jacob. Three's pressing. That's Brad in front of the bench. That was Jake back to Brad. Brad in front. And it went on goal. Goalie picked it up. 2:30 left in the first half. It's only 1-0 Brookline. Goalie boots it. He gets it over midfield. Sam off his foot. 32 in the air for Norwood. Sam. 32. That's Sammy. Sammy brings it back with his right foot. Sammy. He's got Jacob with him. Sammy to his left. Sammy to the wing to Dimitri. Sammy back on it. Jake's under it. Jake's off his head. 14 sends it back to Dimitri. Dimitri's got Ethan to the right. Ethan to the wing to Mekhi. It gets slide tackle out of bounds by number 8. We're under 2 minutes left. Ethan in front to Sammy. There was no one behind him. He sends it back to Ethan. Ethan in front. That was Dimitri and Jacques that went flying. Ball went over their heads. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood. 1-0 Brookline. Seem to have cleared up. It's on the ground. It's low. 8 off his head. Mekhi to Ethan. Ethan sends it back to Jacob. Jacob gets pushed. Jacob gets played off the ball by 14. Jacob gets tripped. No call. Jake to Ethan. Under 2 minutes. Ethan to the back post. And it goes over Dimitri's head. And it's going to roll out of bounds. They're signaling a goal kick, I believe. It's a stiff, warm breeze now from our left to right. It's 1-0 Brookline. Under 2 minutes left. Goalie puts it in the air to the right. Jake sends it back to Mekhi. Mekhi to Jacques. Jacques brings it down. Jacques to Ethan. Ethan Schaefer cuts it back. He cuts it back. He's going to shoot. Hits the defender. Mekhi on his right foot. Hits it out of bounds. Ref's looking at his watch. They're looking at each other here. And that's the signal. It's halftime. It's 1-0 Brookline.